I have to soapbox on this, and it's very controversial. We're talking about routine genital alteration, mutilation, circumcision. I am going to soapbox here. And if you don't like this topic, you can choose to not listen. But here's why you need to. Okay? This is violence against baby boys. This is trauma that is bodily trauma that is harming our men. In fact, the men that I've spoken to who have learned about what this actually has done and what they've lost by their parents doing this to them when they were babies, they have such regrets. And yes, there's restoration surgery, but it's not the same thing. Something precious is taken from them, and it's the same thing as if someone was to remove the clitoral hood. Now, it decreases sensitivity. It can cause lifelong issues. People seem to think that this is just a normal procedure, or they leave it up to the dad. And I'm just going to say that just like your birth plan, you do not leave this up to your partner. First of all, if your partner was cut when he was a baby, he knows nothing else. He knows nothing of what was actually lost to him. He knows nothing of the actual trauma. He thinks he's fine. But a lot of people who have gone through trauma or been abused as children are like, well, it didn't affect me. I'm fine. But there's always underlying trauma. As a woman and as a mother, you are a cycle breaker. As a woman and as a mother, you are a relationship leader. You are here to inspire your partner, your male partner, or even your female partner if you have one who's technically got the masculine energy, or however you balance it out. But you're there to inspire your family. You're there to raise your children. You are the leader, not your partner. Your partner's role is a little bit different. Your partner's role is you say, this is what we need for our family. And your partner goes out and builds that or provides for you and protects you and helps you feel safe and grounded so that you can be in your wild feminine power. So I'm just going to say this. Do not leave the decision to circumcise your baby boy to your partner. I do not care if you have to flat out get into an argument with your partner and physically stop him from taking that baby and having that baby cut. That is your child. You need to now protect your child. And sometimes that means that we have to even protect our children from the trauma of our partners. This is the same thing for co-sleeping, which is the hill I died on with my partner. He didn't care about circumcision because he was intact, but so that wasn't even an issue. But if it had been, I would have fought tooth and nail to protect my baby boy. And I fought tooth and nail to protect my baby boy from crying himself to sleep at night because somebody had said that it would be better for him if he was crying it out. And I fought my partner on it. And I actually slept on the floor at 5 months pregnant. So I fought tooth and nail, and I laid down when I was 5 months pregnant with my daughter so that my 2-year-old would not have to sleep alone being afraid and crying himself to sleep. That is how committed and fierce you need to be to protect your children from trauma. And I'm just going to tell you that taking the foreskin from your baby boy is trauma. I don't care that the medical system wants to say that it's cleaner or whatever little excuses they have. The real reason that they did it was because they wanted little boys to stop masturbating. They took away the sexual pleasure. And there are so many benefits to keeping a baby intact. And by taking that, it reduces the sensitivity. It also causes problems, sexual dysfunction later on. It's violence. It is violence. It is just as violent as the female genital mutilation that happens in certain countries. It is just the same thing. The only difference is that in our culture, we've sanctioned it as normal. The only difference is that the medical system makes a pretty penny off of it. In fact, here in Canada, they won't even pay for it unless it's medically necessary. And if you want it done, you actually have to pay out of pocket, but people still pay out of pocket, and insurance will cover it. Why? Why do you think? Why do you think? Because urologists make a lot of money from it. But protect your son. Protect your son. No. His penis does not have to look the same as his dad's. His dad who was traumatized before he even knew. His dad who had something precious taken from him and has no idea. No. Break the cycle. Break the cycle of trauma. And your son will grow up to be a whole person. And you can do the same thing when it comes to his feelings as well. Breaking the cycle of trauma in telling a little boy that boys don't cry. It's all the same. And it starts with this violent act that has been so sanctioned that it's always in the mom groups asking, should I circumcise or should I not? And it's in the mainstream mommy groups and they're like, oh, this is a controversial topic and it should just be up to the parents. No, we need to take a stand. Okay? We need to take a stand. This is serious. This is trauma. This is just as traumatic. And you need to let your child reclaim their power by not doing that to them. This is all in the same vein. So, if you wanted to ever know what my stance on natural birth and circumcision are, it's the same idea. I believe in an intact body. I believe in bodily autonomy. And it is not bodily autonomy if you are making a decision that will alter someone's genitals for life before they are even able to say their first word. If men were not supposed to have their foreskin, they wouldn't be born with it. So, stand up to your partner. Stand up to the pushy doctor that wants to make a little bit of extra money. Stand up to your mother-in-law or your parents or whoever else is trying to push you into this decision and saying that it's better or safer or healthier. No, it's a North American thing. It's a cultural thing. But that's not what the rest of the world is doing, and it's not even what Canada is doing. Like, we're really moving away from it. And you need to recognize it's not your partner's decision. It's just not. They don't get to decide how you give birth, and they don't get to decide whether your child gets a body part altered. Thank you for coming to my soapbox, and I will talk to you soon.